Friends, I just want to know why they always playing in our face. So look, while I was minding my business being nosy, I had found out some stuff that I really think you want to know about. And some things that's been erased off the internet that I know for a fact that I've seen. Now, either you switched my dimension in my timeline or you Control-Alt deleted it and shut it down. All right? Okay. Antarctica and what's down there? Exactly. Why can't we go? And if we can go, it's supervised. Now, here's my question about it. They say it's to protect the land, but they don't care about protecting no other land. Oil spills, fishes washing up on the beach. All kinds of stuff going on down there, right? Fracking, destroying things, tearing down the trees, burning down the forest, all kinds of stuff going on, but you want to preserve Antarctica and the wildlife. That don't seem odd to y'all. It doesn't seem odd that every time somebody come out with some information about something, they either crazy, delulu, lying, it ain't true, that footage ain't real, CGI, none of that stuff makes sense. Is it not odd to you? Is it not odd that we say the earliest civilization known to men were the ancient Sumer people, right? The Sumerians. They existed. I do believe they existed. But then you find in Turkey, they have a civilization close to that one as well. But all of it is about 6,000 years ago. What happened 6,000 years ago that everything just started at that point as far as civilization is concerned? Like people being able to have civilized trading and civilized relations with other groups of people. No, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, friends. I'm not buying it. I don't care if you gave me free money. I'm not buying it, okay? At all. Something ain't right. Something ain't cleaning the buttermilk, as they say. The math ain't mathing to me. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Because it's always the most respected people in the industry. The most decorated people in the military that we get told are lying or not telling the truth. So I'm like, well, what? Everybody ain't crazy. These people be whistleblowing. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That's my whistle, y'all. Don't say nothing. They be whistleblowing, telling us about all kinds of stuff. But today, I really want to talk about Antarctica and what's going on down there and what's beyond that ice wall. What is over there? Okay? What is it that y'all hiding in plain sight from us, but keeping from us at the same? Is it Elysium? Did the movie Elysium have some truth to it? Are you all hiding land beyond the ice wall? Because we know there is an ice wall, of course. But is there land beyond that? And this in itself, y'all, does not say that, oh, the earth is flat. And if you crawl over the ice wall, you're going to fall off into outer space. No, that's not what's going to happen. That's not what I'm saying. Not even saying the earth is flat. It could still be spherical, heliocentric type earth, but just a lot bigger than what we actually think. Do we actually know how big this place is that we live in? No, because you are so confined to your day-to-day jobs. Got to go to work. Got to make some money. Got to pay my bills. Got to buy my food. Got to have a nice car. Got to have a nice house. Got to be the top of my society. You ain't even thinking about doing nothing at all. None of the stuff that our ancient ancestors was doing. How they were able to chart the stars. And how they were able to put pyramids, all across the world, different sizes, but also very symmetrical to the other pyramids that's thousands of miles away on another continent, right? They're able to make the pyramid so if you clap, there's an echo that you can hear. So if someone was to go through there and speak, you can hear it all. These people ain't just hypothetically building stuff on a whim. They're not going to waste all this manpower and all these people to build these large, huge structures and do these things on assumptions, and it could possibly work. They were actually in tune with nature, in tune with the world, in tune with the universe, in tune with God. So they knew the things to do, and they might have had help from some people. And I feel like there's a lot of information and things in Antarctica that we don't really question. We question it, but then we say, oh, okay, cool. Now, let's start. My first point. Let's get to the first point. I know I just said a whole lot and I ain't said the first point. The idea that it is too dangerous to traverse to Antarctica is beyond me. Now, I'm not going. I'm just telling y'all, I'm not. It's smoke, grab crackers, ain't going, because I belong on somebody's beach. I got to be where it's warm. I like flip-flops and dresses. I don't want to have to put on all this stuff and coats and layers. I just want to be free. But why do we allow people to climb to the top of Mount Everest? And we leave bodies as markers as to where you are today. In our year of our Lord 2024, there are bodies, boots, shoes, clothes, human beings preserved probably perfectly fine on the top of Mount Everest. And every year we tell the people, yeah, go ahead. Go on up there. You can. No problem. Now, I'm not saying that Mount Everest is colder than Antarctica at all. I know Antarctica gets well below freezing, right? But if we could travel to Antarctica in the early 1800s, and we could send expeditions in the early 1900s with people with technology that's far less advanced than it is now, why hasn't it been to a point where people can actually just go down there? And I'm not talking about right on the islands. I'm not talking about no little reservation where scientists lives and look at the aurora borealis or whatever's down there. I'm talking about people actually just being able to go discover their own, right? And the number one thing, of course, is that it's dangerous. Or what could we say that the number one thing is that we want to preserve the wildlife? So you care about the fish and the penguin in Antarctica, but not the ones in other places in the world? Could you imagine how much natural resources down there in Antarctica that you could tap into? You could gas the whole world for the next millennium. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. People come together and sign a treaty to protect the land, but don't care about the land that we living on and breathing in the oxygen. They don't care about it. That's strange to me. Let me turn down, friends. Because I'm a little roused, little up in a tizzy. But yeah, so that's my first point. We want to say that it's too dangerous, but we allow people to do very dangerous. We allow people to get into a submarine with a PlayStation controller and go down to the bottom of the ocean to see the Titanic. But we can't go to Antarctica because we don't want to disturb the wildlife. So let's talk about something that I feel like is very strange. Admiral Byrd. So y'all know Admiral Byrd. We're going to put some respect on his name. These admirals out here be telling the truth, and then folks be like, no, it was a lie. It wasn't true. They didn't say that. I remember an interview that Admiral Byrd did some years ago where he said that there is a land beyond Antarctica that is green and as large as the United States. Now, don't get it confused. I'm going to put in a clip where he actually says as large as the United States.
But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole, on the other side of the South Pole, from Middle America.
But he talked about green pastures and lakes and all kinds of stuff. Now, I remember watching this video probably about 5 or 6 years ago. You cannot find it online now. You cannot find it. I'm not conflating the two. I'm telling you there's two separate videos, and I'm going to show you how I know that because other people are saying the same thing. And I remember searching high and low for this video. You can't find it. Now, either they deleted it or y'all done switched me again, because I remember this man talking about there being green land in Antarctica, and not just a few little small spots in Antarctica, but there was actual grass, lakes, mountain ranges, all of that he talked about, but you cannot find that video anywhere. So in that clip, I'm going to show y'all where the screenshot, I'm going to show y'all a screen capture where people are saying that they seen that same video and they can't find it anymore either. Now, that ain't no coincidence. That ain't no coincidence at all. Y'all know how I feel about coincidences. They don't exist. Everything happened for a reason, in my opinion. Everything is divine. Everything is destined. It ain't no such thing as a coincidence. So with that being said, Admiral Byrd came out. He did several expeditions to Antarctica. He did expeditions to the Arctic Circle. He's a decorated admiral in the Navy. He led these expeditions with fleets of men. They had ice cutting ships and stuff. He spent time out in Antarctica in this little shed or wherever he stayed at. He actually had like carbon monoxide poisoning, they say. They say he did, but you know they love to call people crazy when they start telling the truth. And he wrote a lot of things down in his diary that he did not share with the world. And it was only after him going on to glory that the diary was released, and we see that there was so much stuff in there that we didn't know about, including Arctica. Now that's at the Arctic, but we're talking about Antarctica. Now how could this be? When Antarctica should be covered with ice, how could there be green land? It should have been covered for millions of years. A lot of things that Admiral Byrd said held a lot of weight to it. You got to think these interviews are being done in the 1950s, 1940s. Now, in this interview, he's telling you that the world is getting warmer. He's also saying that it's shrinking. Now, let's think about them two things that he said together. It's getting warmer. Is it not? Are we not experiencing that? Are we not seeing the effects of that? Are we not having summits and meetings about that? People can say all day that it's conspiracy and we don't know, but what we are doing in this world is speeding up the natural occurrence of things, okay? We're speeding it up. We're mashing the gas on it, and we're doing it in an unnatural way, all right? It's not natural. It's just not. So yes, the world is getting warmer. He says that. Now, this is in the 50s before they was even having these conversations. They was burning away them fossil fuels. They were lighting it up left and right. Then he also says that the world is shrinking. So if the world is getting warmer and the ice caps are melting, that would increase the area of the ocean, causing the land that we're on to get smaller. Am I not right? Okay, now because I'm giving y'all a word, now y'all got to catch it. Would that not cause the land, the coastlines to come in? So that would seem like it's getting smaller, right? So he's not bat crap crazy, okay? He's on to something. So he's saying these things, and they trusted him enough to not only send him on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but multiple expeditions to then deem this person to be out of his mind. Maybe towards the end of his life, some of the things that he saw he couldn't share may have drove him crazy. Who knows? But I don't think that he's telling a fib. I don't think that he's lying. Friends, I don't think that. I think it's a lot that they don't share with us, which is why they have things that are classified, things that are top secret. You got to have a certain clearance. And, it just is what it is. So Admiral Byrd shared that. But then there's also the map. So the map that I talked about in one of my TikTok videos. Sorry, my nose is itching. Somebody must be talking about me. The map that I was talking about, the Piri Reis map, was done by an admiral in the 1500s, 1513 to be exact, where he accurately maps and depicts the coastline of Antarctica. Now, how could you be doing that in 1513 when they tell us that we ain't discovered Antarctica until 1820? Because man today love to think that we are the top, apex, most advanced civilization to ever exist. But I think there were civilizations before us. Advanced civilizations that were before us. But nature has this thing called water, time, wind, all kinds of stuff that causes erosion, damage. It'll erase everything. Nature will erase the evidence of anything, okay? Because it ain't meant for us to see or know that it was there before, right? So, historians will say that the oldest civilization is 6,000 years ago, 6 to 8,000 years ago with the ancient Sumerian people. But what about who existed before them? What about civilizations that are underwater now that you can't accurately carbon date? What about civilizations that we can't find because they're completely eroded, completely destroyed, beyond a place that we can't see, like Antarctica? What's beyond there? So there is a map out there, right? Now, this map could just be something that was created by fans. There's really no origin of where this map comes from, but it's something to think about, right? It's something to think about. So these conceptions of what's going on out there, they don't just come out of thin air. Even if you feel like it came out of thin air, that idea came from somewhere. There was your inner self, your spiritual self, something Hollywood that knows something about something. They just give you little tidbits of information. It could be some truth to there. So this map has like the wastelands, Asgard, the abyssal ocean or abyssal sea. It has all these additional lands outside of Antarctica. Now, if you had a circle and you were to smash it flat like this, Antarctica would be circling around. You'd have all of your countries right here in the middle, North America, South America, Africa, all these different continents. And then outside of that ice wall would be additional continents. How do we know that doesn't exist? Even if it wasn't flat, and let's just say Antarctica ran around the band of the earth, similar to how the equator is, How do we not know that there's not additional land out there with people or civilizations or giants or, imprisoned fallen angels or just more people? How do we not know that? We have no way of knowing. We see UAPs all the time. We don't know where they come from. Sometimes you see pictures or videos of them coming out of the ocean. Where is it coming from? Where is it going? What else is out there? If you haven't seen, how do you know? That's what I implore you to think about today, friends. How do you know? Because we don't. And it's just so much that's a mystery about Antarctica. You even have structures in Antarctica that look like pyramids. And they say, oh, that's just a natural forming mountain, which it could be. It could be. But what if it's not? Everything that they've told you about history, most of the time is theory. We are theorizing that this happened. So why isn't there another plausible explanation? It's just all in what I want you to believe. Let's just think about it this way. If you believe that the earliest civilization known to man is Sumer, and we say they invented the wheel and they had a bartering system, and it would be very primitive compared to where we are in technology today, well, then that would make us feel like we're the most advanced, right? Because it's scary to think that there has been a civilization on this planet that existed or still exists that's far more advanced than we are. Because then they can come in and gain control. Where are they? Who are they? How do we protect ourselves from them? How do we take what they have? How do we learn? How do we get one up? That's what this entire world is built off of. Capitalizing, taking, owning, that type of thing. And if you know for a fact that you can't control the unknown, there's going to be chaos amongst people. So I create this history timeline and I create these rules of how things should fall in history. And then I tell you this is exactly as it is. But let's just call a thing a thing. We have recently discovered within the last week. Now this is 2024. We're in January. Within the last week, we have discovered there is the largest deep sea coral reef off the coast of Florida that stretches from Florida to South Carolina in the United States. Several times the size of Yellowstone. Now, we know the Great Barrier Reef is the largest coral reef that uses what? Photosynthesis to eat. This is a deep sea coral reef that goes down thousands of feet. I'm about to say miles. I was about to get it wrong, but thousands of feet. That doesn't even use photosynthesis. It uses chemosynthesis. It eats the bacteria and all other stuff. It doesn't even use sunlight. We didn't even know it was there. The reason why I say that is that 75% of our ocean is undiscovered. We don't know what's down there. Right? I could be wrong on that number. Let me double check it just in case. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna put it up on the screen. I think it's like 50% of the ocean or the eastern the eastern coastline of the United States is unmapped. Let's just say a large portion. We're gonna say a large portion so we're not wrong. A large portion, if y'all know, put it down in the comment section, is not mapped. What do we not know that's down there? Atlantis could be down there. Okay, we see all kinds of crazy kooky things that goes on in the Bermuda Triangle in that area off the coast of Florida. There is a whole supposed underground base in that area. Like, it's so much stuff in this world that's huge in the land that we know of that is unmapped. So how can we safely say there's nothing beyond Antarctica when we're not allowed to go there? The people that they sent on the expeditions, they sent them and then they stopped. Why did they stop exploring Antarctica? Why did they tell us that they stopped exploring Antarctica? What happened after Admiral Byrd passes away? When was NASA formed? What was NASA's original job? Was it to discover the oceans? And then what did they stop and start doing? And then shortly thereafter, after they went to the moon, they stopped going to the moon and started doing something. It's always something. They start looking at Mars. Why do they keep starting all this expensive stuff and expeditions and then they stop? Or at least they tell us they stop. Is there anything beyond that? All these video footages of the waters changing in certain areas, becoming super calm and then super rampant. Yeah, there's all kinds of streams underwater that can explain stuff. But there are a lot of questions that we don't get answers to. We get theories. Theories and excuses is what we get. Anyway, friends, I'm going to cut this episode short because I'm rambling. But I want to know what y'all think about this down in the comment section below. If y'all have other topics that y'all want to talk about, please put it there and I will discuss it. And I hopefully didn't get y'all up in too much of a tizzy. And I'm going to call y'all back later on. Bye, friends.